collective energy reading when it comes to love. All right, I got a new deck here. It's called Written in the Stars, and I said I wanna use this deck. Okay, I want to put this deck to good use. All right, so let's find out what's going on when it comes to the collective and love. All right, first deck I'm going to be using is Soul Connections When Two Hearts Meet. Holy Spirit, let us know what you want us to know about love. All right, we got guilt coming out in the past energy. It says, don't let guilt get in the way of happiness. So there's a releasing taking place for the collective when it comes to guilt. You know, anything that places limitation on your experience when it comes to you having love in your life. I feel like for some of you, you're going to be provoked to release those things. The next card that we have coming out is Confusion. It says, all seekers of truth experience confusion. Ask the divine to provide the answers you need. And that is the current energy. All right, so for some of you, I feel like you may have some questions in regards to a relationship. There could be a lack of understanding, which is what's creating a lack of harmony. The next card we have coming out is Illusion. Avoid the trap of mistaking a fantasy for a true soul connection. And this is the future energy. And so essentially, I feel like for some of you, you're coming into reality of misled relationships, you know, distorted views. For some of you, it could be a connection you're involved in that, you know, you may have been seeing from a rose-colored standpoint. And I feel like you're coming to the truth about this relationship. You're going from confusion to realizing it's an illusion. That what you thought the connection was is not really what it is. We got Cupid. Love is in the air when Cupid's around. All right, and this is giving me that for some of you, you could feel guilt in regards to receiving love. And the confusion is being able to trust. It says you need to have trust in a relationship in order for it to flourish. The next card that we have coming out underneath Illusion is Rejoice. It says, embrace your loving connection and rejoice. All right, so this is giving me mindset shift. You know, I feel like for some of you, there's been some doubt in a connection that you're involved in that's created some confusion. You know, there's been a lack of understanding in this relationship in regards to there being trust, you know, in regards to there being a safe space with this person, you know. And I feel like with these feelings underneath the surface, it's caused there to be a lack of happiness. It's caused there to be a lack of harmony, of love. And so rejoicing and gratitude is what's going to heal this connection. Because whatever this mindset is, whatever this limiting belief is an illusion. At the end of the day, love is still in the air. Love is still essentially why you connected to this person. And so I feel like for some of you, you're going to be coming into that realization that love is where you need to return. At the bottom of the deck, we have connection. It says your connection is eternal and unbreakable. Wow. Yeah, we got receptive, telepathic, 1111, heart, dreams, deeply, and connection. So this is, to me, a sign that this is definitely a divine lover for some of you that you're connected to. That this is just a time that you're dealing with some difficulty. You know, there's some misunderstandings. And I feel like it all boils down to there being a need to have some receptive communication, some honest, open, and loving communication. Because I feel like you feel one another very deeply. You know, you're in tune with one another when it comes to your dreams. You're telepathically connected. You know, and so this is giving me return to home. You know, return to the core values, return to the space where you're inspired to rejoice. Holy Spirit, give us two more. Underneath confusion, we have true love. All right, so there's definitely just been, I feel like, a distortion of mentality somewhere. Take it as it resonates. It says true love comes when you least expect it. So Spirit is confirming that this is true love. And this person that you're with, for some of you, is somebody that sincerely loves you. 1010 could be significant. Somebody that you're sincerely meant to grow with. And at the bottom of the deck, we have union. The union of divine soul counterparts is a miraculous event that begins when you least expect it. And feelings. Cherish and learn. It says take time out to explore the deep emotions you are experiencing. Cherish your relationship. And let love show you how to learn from one another. This is about vulnerability. Yeah, I feel like this is about a willingness to open up and to cross the threshold into a deeper space where you're both teachers of love, but you're also students of love. The 5 love languages could be significant. Reading that book could be significant. I feel like there may be some barriers in regards to how one another receives love. You know, I feel like for some of you, you may think that you may like love a certain way and your partner may not be aware of the type of way that you need love, and vice versa. You know, that person may be feeling like they're giving you love. They're giving you, or they think that they're giving you what it is that you want. But when you receive it, it doesn't feel like love because it's not the type of love that you need to feel fulfilled. And so I feel like there's an awareness that's taking place of this. You know, an awareness that love does exist. And as a result, there's going to be more cherishing here. Cherishing the fact that this is your partner, but more respect for feelings of your partner. You know, and this is just a flawed moment. It doesn't define where things are going. It just, I feel like, enhances where things are going. All right, Holy Spirit, give us 3 cards. I'm going to finally pull from Written in the Stars. Give us more insight under guilt. Okay, yeah, we got let me be there for you. So what I was saying earlier, like in regards to vulnerability, I feel like there's a need for deeper intimacy here. That's what this is giving me. You know, for some of you, you may have your walls up. You may have barriers in this connection that's, you know, keeping things from getting to a deeper space. You know, you may feel guilty about being needy or guilty about your expectations. The next card we have underneath confusion is I've awakened to see parts of myself inside of you. Yeah, so for some of you, you're going through a spiritual awakening. Your relationship is going through a shift. And I feel like this time right now is a shift in your perspective. You know, the things that are triggering you are showing you parts of yourself that you may not have been aware of before. And this is pushing you into a deeper love. It says, I'm developing feelings for you. So this confusion is leading to an awakening that's inspiring deeper feelings. I miss the old us, how things used to be. All right, so for some of you, I feel like this could be a relationship that's simply just grown out of touch. You know, this is giving me the person that you've been with for a while. And for others of you, I feel like it's a need to just get your spark back. You know, this could be a period of mourning for some of you. You could have just gone through a loss of some sort. But at the bottom of the deck, we got my favorite is watching you be you. This is a return back to self. You know, seeing one another in a new light, from a new space. There's sunshine on the horizon, you know, and I feel like that's where it begins, is returning back to what led you to one another. And allowing one another to be who you are and embracing that. Embracing the changes that need to be made, but also accepting one another the way you are, if that makes sense. Because you're not starting all over, you're starting over from experience. And with this underneath, it says, our plans did not work out, but let's try another route. I feel like this is about, you know, like I said, essentially a shift in perspective and change in direction in a way that creates more harmony in how you all show up in the relationship and how you all see one another individually and together. So I'm going to leave that there. This has gone on for quite a bit. If you made it this far, I appreciate you listening, and I will catch you in the next one.